Your soulmate finally made a decision about you. What they're planning next will surprise you. My beloved child, something has shifted in a way you were never expecting. Your soulmate has finally reached a decision about you, but the decision itself is only the beginning. What they are planning next is the part that could surprise you most. For a long time, they have been caught between what their mind was telling them and what their heart kept bringing them back to. They tried to stay quiet. They tried to understand why your presence remained so powerful in their thoughts. But now something has changed. They are no longer asking themselves whether this connection matters. They are asking themselves what they should finally do about it. Don't skip, because there is one detail behind their decision that changes the meaning of everything. They have realized that simply thinking about you is no longer enough. And what pushed them toward this realization was not one dramatic moment, it was the accumulation of all the little things they could never forget. Your energy. Your words. The way certain memories return when they least expect them. Even during ordinary moments, something reminds them of you. And recently, that feeling became impossible for them to dismiss. Stay till the end, because the next part of this message reveals why their upcoming move may look completely different from what you imagined. Here is where everything becomes more surprising. Their decision is not about repeating the past. They have been thinking about doing something different, something more intentional, more sincere, and more meaningful than before. They understand that if they approach you again, they cannot arrive with the same uncertainty. They know that you deserve clarity. That is why they have been quietly considering their next step before making it visible. Something huge is waiting for you, because the strongest part of their plan is connected to something they have wanted to express but repeatedly held back. There is a truth inside them that has grown stronger every time they tried to ignore it. You affected them more deeply than they expected. They may have appeared calm on the outside, but internally they have been replaying possibilities. What would happen if they finally became honest? What would happen if they stopped hiding behind hesitation? What would happen if they gave this connection the chance they secretly believe it deserves? Don't skip, because their final answer to those questions is what created this decision. Instead of allowing uncertainty to control them, they are beginning to imagine a future where they actually take action. And that is exactly why their next move could catch you completely by surprise. But there is one final layer you need to hear, because this is where the decision becomes much bigger than a passing emotion. Your soulmate does not simply want to create another temporary moment with you. They are thinking about what could happen if they approached this connection with real intention. Something inside them is saying that waiting forever could mean losing an opportunity they may never receive again. And that realization has changed the way they see you. Stay till the end, because what comes next is the revelation they have struggled to admit even to themselves. They have started imagining what it would feel like to stop wondering about you and finally discover what is truly possible between you. That is the surprise behind their plan. Their next move is being shaped by courage instead of hesitation. They want clarity instead of endless questions. And before they take that step, they are gathering the confidence to reveal something you may never have expected them to say. Something huge is waiting for you, because their decision has already been made in their heart, but the reason behind that decision, and the one thing they are preparing to reveal when they finally move toward you, is where this story changes completely. Something has changed inside your soulmate, and this time they cannot simply return to the way things were before. The decision they made about you has started creating another question in their mind: how do they show you that they truly mean it? They know words alone may not be enough. They know you may have wondered what they really feel, why they stayed quiet, or why their actions sometimes seem different from what your heart sensed, but now they are thinking beyond words. Don't skip, because their next move is beginning to take shape, and there is one surprising reason they have not made it obvious yet. They want the moment to feel genuine. They do not want to approach you with confusion and disappear again. They have been imagining the conversation, the timing, and even what they would finally say if they had one completely honest moment with you. And something keeps returning to their heart: they do not want you to misunderstand their silence anymore. Stay till the end, because the truth they are preparing to reveal could explain why this connection has remained so difficult for them to forget. They are beginning to understand that what they feel for you cannot remain hidden behind endless thinking. Something has to change, and they know that change may have to begin with them. What makes this even more surprising is that your soulmate has started looking at you differently. They are not only remembering the connection, they are recognizing your value in a deeper way. They have noticed the strength you carry, the way you continue moving forward, and the fact that you cannot be expected to wait forever while someone else decides what they want. That realization has created urgency inside them. Something huge is waiting for you, because they are beginning to understand that if they truly want a place in your future, they must show up differently. They cannot expect you to read their mind. They cannot expect feelings alone to create something meaningful. Their next move needs honesty, consistency, and intention. And here is the revelation they did not expect: the possibility of you moving forward without them has made them recognize how important this connection actually feels. Don't skip, because this is not about chasing or forcing anything. It is about a person finally understanding that meaningful connections require courage. Your soulmate is preparing themselves to stop hiding behind uncertainty and make their intentions clearer than they have ever been before. The question is no longer whether they feel something. The question is whether they are finally ready to prove that their decision has substance behind it. And now comes the part that could change the entire direction of this story. Your soulmate has been considering one move that would immediately show you that something inside them has changed. It may begin simply: a conversation, a sincere message, or an unexpected attempt to reconnect, but behind that small beginning is something much bigger. They want to tell you what they were unable to explain before. They want you to understand why they hesitated, what finally shifted inside them, and why their decision about you now feels different. Stay till the end, because the biggest surprise is still ahead. There is something they have realized about your connection that they never expected to admit, and once they say it, you may finally understand why they could never completely move past what they felt. They are no longer planning from a place of uncertainty. They are preparing for clarity. Something huge is waiting for you, because the next revelation is not simply about what they are planning to do. It is about the exact realization that made them choose this direction in the first place. And when that truth finally comes forward, everything that once seemed confusing may suddenly begin to make sense. Now the hidden reason behind your soulmate's decision is beginning to surface, and it is much deeper than you might expect. There was a moment when they suddenly realized that no matter how much time passed, something about you continued to stay with them. It was not simply one memory or one conversation. It was the feeling connected to you, the sense that something meaningful remained unfinished. That realization forced them to look at themselves differently. They began asking why they had been holding back when their heart kept returning to the same person. Don't skip, because what they discovered through that question surprised even them. They realized they were not waiting for their feelings to disappear, they were waiting until they felt brave enough to acknowledge them. And now that moment is getting closer. Stay till the end, because their next move is connected to something they once believed they would never be ready to reveal. They have started imagining what could happen if they stopped protecting themselves from uncertainty and simply allowed you to see the truth. That thought has changed everything, because suddenly the possibility of being honest with you feels more important than remaining comfortable in silence. But there is another detail that makes this decision even more powerful. Your soulmate has been thinking about how you might respond when they finally show you what has been happening inside them. They know you may have questions. They know you may need actions rather than promises. And strangely, instead of making them step backward, this realization is making them think more seriously about what they can actually offer. Something huge is waiting for you, because they are not only thinking about reaching out, they are thinking about what comes after that first moment. They are imagining consistency. They are imagining conversations that do not end with unanswered questions. They are imagining finally allowing this connection to become something clearer instead of leaving it suspended between possibilities. Don't skip, because this is where their plan becomes unexpected. They do not want their next move to feel random. They want you to recognize that a genuine decision has been made. And the more they think about it, the more they understand that they may have only one opportunity to show you that they are approaching you differently now. That is why they are being careful. Behind their silence, something is being prepared, not perfection, but honesty. And there is still one revelation they have not fully faced, because admitting it changes the meaning of everything they thought they knew about you. Somewhere along the way, your soulmate realized that you were never simply another passing chapter in their thoughts. You became the person against whom certain feelings, moments, and possibilities were quietly measured. That is why forgetting the connection never felt as simple as they expected. Stay till the end, because this realization leads directly into the move they are considering next. They want to stop leaving everything to imagination and finally discover what is real between you. They want an answer to the question that has followed them through all this hesitation: what could happen if we finally stopped holding back? Something huge is waiting for you, because once someone reaches that question, silence begins to feel heavier than honesty. Your soulmate is approaching that point now. Their decision has already changed the way they think about you, but what they are preparing to reveal next could change the way you understand their entire journey, and the most surprising truth is that the final piece of their plan has not even been uncovered yet. A completely different realization has entered your soulmate's mind, and this may be the turning point they never expected. They have begun to understand that choosing you in their heart means very little unless their actions eventually become clear enough for you to recognize that choice. That thought has been following them everywhere. Every time they consider staying silent, another thought immediately appears: what if silence becomes the reason this connection never gets the chance to become what it could have been? Don't skip, because that question has pushed them closer to a move they previously kept postponing. They are no longer thinking only about how strongly they feel, they are thinking about what they are willing to do differently. They know that showing up with the same hesitation would change nothing. So they are preparing themselves for something more sincere, an approach where they stop leaving you to guess what is happening inside them. Stay till the end, because the surprising part is not simply that they want to move toward you. It is that they have finally recognized something about you that makes waiting feel completely different now. They see that you have your own path, your own future, and your own choices. You are not standing still. And suddenly, they understand that a meaningful opportunity cannot always be postponed. What happened next inside them was even more unexpected. Instead of imagining only the perfect moment, they started thinking about the truth they would actually tell you. What would they say if there were no masks, no hesitation, and no need to pretend that this connection meant less than it did? Their answer surprised them. They would tell you that your presence affected them in ways they never properly expressed. They would tell you that certain moments with you remained important long after those moments ended. And most importantly, they would admit that their decision was not created overnight. It grew quietly through every moment when they tried to move forward yet still found themselves wondering about you. Something huge is waiting for you, because this is where their next plan becomes clearer. They want their actions to answer questions their silence created. They are beginning to realize that real connection cannot survive forever on assumptions. It needs clarity. It needs mutual understanding. And it needs two people who are willing to discover what is genuinely possible instead of living inside endless what-ifs. Don't skip, because one final realization is now pushing them toward that moment faster than anything before, and this is the truth your soulmate was least prepared to discover. They are no longer most afraid of what might happen if they approach you, they are beginning to wonder what they could lose if they never try. That shift has changed the entire direction of their thinking. Stay till the end, because their next move is no longer being built around perfect timing. It is being built around honesty. They want to create a moment where you can finally see their intentions clearly and decide for yourself what this connection means to you. They cannot control your answer, and somewhere inside, they finally understand that. But they can control whether they show up sincerely. Something huge is waiting for you, because there is still one piece of their decision that has remained hidden, the future they secretly pictured when they finally allowed themselves to imagine you truly being part of their life. That vision surprised them more than anything else, because it revealed that their feelings were never only about the past. They were quietly thinking about what could come next, and what they imagined is the revelation that changes everything. What your soulmate pictured when they finally allowed themselves to think about the future was not what they expected at all. They thought their decision would simply bring them relief, as though finally admitting what they felt would quiet every unanswered question. Instead, it opened an entirely new possibility in their mind. They began imagining what it would feel like to have you genuinely present in their life, not as a distant thought, not as an unfinished possibility, but as someone with whom they could build something honest and meaningful. Don't skip, because this is where their decision becomes much bigger than one conversation. They started imagining ordinary moments with you, the kind of moments nobody else sees, talking without watching the clock, understanding each other without pretending, laughing over little things, supporting each other through changing seasons of life. And suddenly they realized something that surprised them deeply. What they wanted was not one dramatic moment with you. They wanted the chance to discover whether something lasting could actually grow between you. Stay till the end, because that realization created another decision inside them. If they approach you, they do not want to arrive carrying empty promises. They want to arrive with a different energy, clearer, calmer, and ready to listen to what you feel too. For the first time, they are not imagining only what they want to say. They are imagining what you might need to hear before you could ever believe that something has truly changed. Then another thought appeared, and this one stopped them completely. Your soulmate realized that while they had been trying to understand their own emotions, you may have been changing too. You may no longer see everything the way you once did. Your expectations may be different. Your boundaries may be stronger. Your future may already be opening in directions they know nothing about. Something huge is waiting for you, because instead of making them abandon their decision, this realization has made them understand why their next move must carry respect. They cannot simply appear and expect everything to fall into place. They need to show you who they are now and allow you to decide what you genuinely want. That is the surprising maturity beginning to form behind their plan. Don't skip, because there is one thing they are preparing themselves to say that they previously avoided admitting. They know they cannot rewrite what has already happened, but they can choose how honestly they show up from this point forward. And that thought is becoming the foundation of everything they are planning. No games. No endless guessing. No pretending the connection never mattered. Just a moment where the truth finally has room to breathe. Yet even that is not the biggest revelation, because something happened when they imagined your reaction, and it revealed exactly how deeply this decision has changed them. For the first time, your soulmate imagined that you might look at them and ask the question they have secretly feared, why now? And instead of running from that question, they finally found their answer. Because now they understand what they could not understand before. Feelings alone do not create a future. Decisions do. Actions do. Consistency does. And if they truly believe this connection deserves another possibility, they know they must be willing to demonstrate that belief rather than simply speak about it. Stay till the end, because this is exactly where their plan takes another unexpected turn. They are considering a step that would make their intentions unmistakably clear, something that would show you they are no longer standing between two choices. Something huge is waiting for you, because behind that step is an even bigger truth. Your soulmate has started thinking less about how to get your attention and more about how to earn your trust. That difference changes everything. And there is one specific promise they have quietly made to themselves before they approach you, a promise about what they will never repeat again. That promise is the missing piece behind their next move, and once it is revealed, you will understand why this decision feels so different from everything that came before. The promise your soulmate quietly made to themselves could be the strongest sign that their thinking has truly changed. They decided that if they move toward you, they will not allow uncertainty to speak louder than honesty again. They know how easily silence can create distance and how quickly unspoken feelings can become unanswered questions. This time, they want their intentions to be understandable. Don't skip, because this promise has completely reshaped what they are planning next. They are no longer imagining one impressive moment and then returning to the same patterns. They are thinking about what happens afterward. How will they communicate? How will they remain consistent? How will they show you that their decision carries meaning beyond a few emotional words? Stay till the end, because there is something they finally understood about you. You should never have to decode someone's feelings just to know where you stand. That realization has become incredibly important to them. They want the next chapter, if you both choose it, to feel different from everything that created confusion before. And the surprising part is that this decision has forced them to confront themselves more deeply than they expected. Behind all their thinking, another truth has been growing stronger. Your soulmate knows that approaching you means accepting that you have a choice too. They cannot decide the entire future alone, and they no longer want to. They want to discover what you genuinely feel when everything is finally spoken clearly. Something huge is waiting for you, because this changes the purpose of their next move. It is not simply about revealing their feelings, it is about opening a door to an honest conversation where both sides can finally understand each other. They have imagined looking into your eyes and saying what they once struggled to express, that this connection mattered, that your presence left an impression, and that they do not want fear to make their decisions anymore. Don't skip, because even they were surprised by what came next in their thoughts. When they imagined finally telling you everything, they did not picture themselves asking you to forget the past. Instead, they pictured themselves acknowledging it. They know meaningful beginnings are not created by pretending nothing happened. They are created when people understand what happened and choose what should come next with clearer hearts. And that is precisely what your soulmate is preparing themselves to do. But there is one final detail behind their plan that makes everything even more surprising. They have begun thinking about the exact moment when hesitation ends and action begins. It may not arrive with a grand announcement. It could begin quietly, with sincere words that immediately feel different because there is finally intention behind them. Stay till the end, because your soulmate has realized that the most powerful move they can make is not something designed merely to surprise you. It is something designed to show you who they have decided to become around this connection, someone willing to communicate, listen, and remain present instead of disappearing behind uncertainty. Something huge is waiting for you, because their decision about you has now become a decision about themselves as well. They know that if they want something meaningful, they must be ready to meet it with meaningful actions. And just when they thought they had understood everything, one more realization entered their mind, a realization about why you became so unforgettable to them in the first place. That truth reaches deeper than attraction, deeper than memories, and deeper than anything they have admitted so far. Once that final realization comes forward, the entire reason behind their decision may suddenly become clear. There is a reason you became so difficult for your soulmate to forget, and they are only now beginning to understand it. It was never simply one conversation, one memory, or one moment that kept bringing their thoughts back to you. It was the way they felt when they imagined being completely themselves around you. Somewhere beneath all their hesitation, they recognized something rare. This connection made them think about becoming clearer, stronger, and more intentional with their own heart. Don't skip, because this realization has changed the meaning of their decision. They are no longer asking, "Why do I keep thinking about this person?" Now they are asking, "Why did this person make me see my future differently?" And the answer surprised them. You represented possibility. Not a guaranteed outcome, not a perfect story, but the possibility of something genuine that could only be discovered through honesty. Stay till the end, because that understanding has pushed their plan into a completely new direction. They do not simply want to return to your attention. They want to approach you in a way that makes you notice the difference between who they were when uncertainty controlled them and who they are choosing to become now, and then came the realization they could no longer avoid. Your soulmate understood that the next move cannot be about convincing you of anything. It has to be about showing you the truth and giving you the freedom to.